Hello everyone, welcome back to Bleed Electrical. This is course on energy management and audit, and I'm Triveli Naidu from the Department of Electrical Engineering at St. Vincent Pallotti College of Engineering and Technology, Nagpur. In the previous video, we have already studied about top management support. Now in this video, we'll be discussing on assessing the energy performances. Now, understanding current and past energy use helps an organization identify opportunities to improve energy performance and gain financial benefits. Now, what is exactly this assessing of energy performance is? Assessing energy performance is the periodic process of evaluating energy use for all major facilities and functions, and establishing a baseline for measuring future results of energy efficiency and its efforts. So now all the things that it does we'll be discussing in this video. So key aspects include the data collection and management, then establishing the baseline, benchmarking analysis and evaluation, and conducting technical assessments and audits. So basically this assessing of energy performance will include data collection and management, then secondly establishing the baseline, third would be the benchmark, fourth analysis and evaluation, and lastly conducting technical assessments and audits. So let's see this one by one. Now firstly, data collection and management. Now data collection could be considered in variety of ways, like collect the data, then you have to track this data, and finally you have to normalize this data. So let us see this. Now, collecting data. The data must be complete and accurate and should be useful for analysis and goal setting. So you have to consider the following points while you are collecting the data. First of all, determine the appropriate level of detail. So it will depend on the organization. What kind of organization is it and what detailed information is required. Then secondly, account for all energy sources. You have to make an inventory of all the energy purchased and generated, be it electricity, be it gas, steam, waste fuels, in physical units and on a cost basis. Then document all the energy usage. You have to document everything. You have to gather at least 2 years of monthly data or more frequent interval if available. And you have to use the most recent data available to you. Then you have to collect the facility and operational data also. To normalize and benchmark, it may be necessary that we have to collect the non-energy related data also, like facilities and operation such as building, size, production, operating hours, etc. So you have to collect the facility and operational data as well. Then secondly, let us discuss on the tracking of data. So tracking of data is also equally important when data collection is considered. A system for tracking performance can be a simple spreadsheet, it could be a detailed databases, and it could be IT systems also. For example, there are plenty of softwares now available to us in order to monitor this data, okay, in order to track the data. So in developing an appropriate tracking systems for the organization, we have to consider the following. Firstly, the scope. The design of tracking system will be shaped in larger part by level and scope of information that will be tracked and frequently of data collection. So you have to specify the scope. Then secondly, maintenance. It should be easy to maintain, easy to update, okay, easy to use, easy to understand. Then reporting and communicating. Once you are tracking this data, you can communicate to the management as well as the employees, and you can motivate a change. If certain things are not going in the favor of the organization, we can keep a check on it, and we can find out some solution to cope up with these problems. So you have to report and communicate. So using the tracking systems to communicate energy performance to other parts of the organization, and you have to motivate the changes. Okay, then actions. Now what actions should be taken by the data tracking? So collect data by fuel type at an individual building or facility level. Then you can collect data from sub-meters. Use data that is current and timely. It has to be recent. Okay. Then use tracking systems to develop quarterly and annual reports that profile energy performance. Then use tracking system to allow facilities to compare their performance to their peers. So all these things can be done as far as data tracking is concerned. Now coming to this, normalizing the data. No, normalizing is actually a process of removing the impact of various factors like weather condition, it could be anything else, of various factors on energy use, so that energy performance of facilities and operations can be compared. Okay, you're generalizing the data, you're normalizing the data so that it can be compared. Then in order to normalize, what you have to keep in mind, determine the normalization factor. So several things, several units of the organization will have different normalizing factors. So what would be these factors? For industrial facilities, the common normalization factors are inputs, product type, output, the production process. And for commercial and institutional buildings, the common normalization factors could be the climate zone, facility size, fuel choice, the price cost of energy, actual weather history, hours of operation, occupancy levels, and special features. So this is all about normalizing the data. Now, secondly, assessing of the system was including establishing the baseline. Means you have to create a reference point. You have to, you have to select from where to start analyzing. The start point, we can say. So establishing the baseline, determine the starting point from which to measure the progress. Measuring energy performance at a specific time establishes a baseline, and it provides starting point for setting goal and evaluating future efforts for overall performance. Now, the main steps that has to be considered using data collected so far for establishing the baselines is establish a base year. So you have to eventually establish a base year or an average of several historical years. Okay, then secondly, you have to identify the matrix. You have to set the units also. Select units of measurements that effectively and appropriately express energy performance for the organization. So like kilocalories per ton, kilocalories per kilowatt hour. So according to your need, you have to identify the matrix also if you want to consider the baseline. Then publish the result. You have to announce the performance baseline to the facilities manager, other key stakeholders in the organization. So this is about setting of the baseline. Now thirdly, you have to benchmark. While assessing the system performance, you have to benchmark. Benchmark is nothing but comparing with others, the peer and competitors over the time, to prioritize which facility to focus on for improvements. Okay, you have to compare constantly. Benchmarking allows us to compare energy performance of similar facilities or an established level of performance. So it is actually helping us to compare with our competitors, and you have to track the change. You have to identify the best energy practices. So it could be done in several ways. Facility or organizational performance may be benchmarked to the past performances. So past performances is a comparison of current versus historical performances of the particular organization only, not outside. We are comparing with our own selves. Then industry average, based on an established performance metric such as recognized average performance of similar groups. Okay, then best in the class, it could be any industry and not the average. Then best practices, it could be a qualitative comparison against certain established practices considered to be the best in the industries. So it was about benchmarking. Now the fourth thing that was there was analysis and evaluation. So analyze the data. Analyzing the data is nothing but understanding your energy use patterns and trends. Okay, analyzing data to determine energy use, its trend, it can help an organization gain a better understanding of the factors that affects the energy performance. And you have to identify the steps for reducing the energy consumption. Now, assessing your energy performance helps you to categorize your current energy use by fuel type, the operating division, the facility, the product line, etc. So you can categorize your current energy usage. Then identifying high performing facilities for recognition and reuse of best practices. Then you have to prioritize the poor performing facilities for immediate improvement, because once you are able to identify, analyzing makes it possible for you to identify where more attention is required and where the performance is really good. Then understand the contribution of energy expenditures to operating costs. Develop a historical perspective and context for future actions and decisions. And then establish reference points for measuring and rewarding good performances. If some unit is actually working out exceptionally well, you can recognize it in order to motivate the people working in that particular unit, so that they also enjoy the benefits of working into an organization with certain firm policies, and they'll be happy to do it later on also. So this is about analysis and evaluation. Then analysis and evaluation, there could be a variety of ways by which data can be analyzed depending upon the needs of the organization. Okay, it could be a quantitative review. Now, quantitative review means develop use profiles, like identify energy consumption peaks and valleys and determine how they relate to operation or key events. Then compare their performance, compare the use and performance data of similar facilities in your industry. Then assess the financial impacts, identify areas of high cost energy use. Then identify the data gaps. You have to determine the areas where more information is needed, where you don't have sufficient data. Then it could be qualitative reviews. Now we have seen all the quantitative reviews. Now qualitative reviews could be conduct interviews. You seek the informed opinions from your colleagues, the lessons learned, the system specified information, and in-house audits or surveys. You take data from that and you try to achieve success in order to cope up with this problem. Then review policies and procedure. If it is essential, you can review your policies, you can change them, you can modify them, you can update them. Okay, review organizational policies and operating procedures to determine their impact on energy use. Then now lastly, we have this conducting technical and assessments and audits. Now it could be for evaluating the operation, the performance of facilities and systems and equipments, and we can determine the improvement, the potential for improvement in the system. Okay, and the main steps that is involved in conducting technical assessments and audits are: you can assemble audit team, you can call experts, you can conduct audits, you can use systems, processes, equipments, you can include the facility engineer, system specialist, and you can gain support from so many people. Okay, then plan and develop an energy strategy. You can prioritize systems for evaluation, assign team members the task, schedule completion dates for the activities, set the deadlines, you can benchmark, you can identify the poor performing facilities where the equipments are not working properly, where the efficiency is poor, and you can target these systems that are weak and you can go for the recovery of these systems. And then lastly, create audit report. Once you're done with this, you have to prepare a full-fledged report in order to have further understanding of the energy consumption, its pattern, its usage, and so that we can analyze it and we can find out ways in order to tackle all these problems. So this is all about assessing things, And now this is all for this video. In the upcoming videos, I'll be talking about setting of goals. Thank you.